Hi everyone, Tassif here, back with a new live stream. Let's see who's here. As you are joining, please announce your name, write what state you are from. We have some important things to discuss today, some good things, some positive things. So let me say that to you up front. There are some good news that I want to share with you. And so let's see who's here. As you are joining, write something in the chat window. Write your name. If this is your first time, please introduce yourself. Write what city, what state you're from. eRocker78. Hey, what's happening? eRocker, are you from Ohio? If I remember correctly. I know you've commented on my videos before, if I'm not mistaken. Ohio. All right. See, I remember you. I remember that. So I'm glad that you're here. And my friend Terry Dunlap from South Dakota is also here. Terry, welcome. eRocker78, welcome. And I am glad, eRocker78, that you're here because I have some great news to share about Ohio. And eRocker78, I think you may already know what I'm going to talk about. So anyway, I'm glad that you're here. And my friend Terry, she's a great supporter of this channel. Terry from South Dakota, she is here. All right. So we are close to the 2-minute time mark. I'm going to be waiting for a few more seconds, allow more people to join. And I'm going to be discussing two major things, two major breaking news updates, and then we will discuss whatever you want to talk about. So send your questions, send your share your views, write your comments. Feel free to do that. I try to stay engaged with the comments in the live chat window as much as I can. So eRocker78, great to have you here. Terry Dunlap, my friend from South Dakota, great to have you here as always. And okay, so we are past the 2 minutes, 30-second time mark. Let's get straight into the discussion. So, U.S. Senate candidate Bernie Moreno of Ohio has won the GOP primary. And this is breaking news tonight, my friends. This is amazing news. And I can see Susan Epp has joined. Susan, welcome. Thank you for joining. And my friends, let me tell you, tonight it's a beautiful night. It's a night of victory because Bernie Moreno is the projected winner in the U.S. Senate race in the GOP primary in Ohio. And so this was an important primary. Obviously, it was. And there were other candidates who ran. GOP State Senator Matt Dolan, he ran. And then Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose, I hope I'm pronouncing the names correctly, also ran. Frank LaRose, the Ohio Secretary of State. But Bernie Moreno is the winner in the GOP primary. And this is quite interesting. Why? You may be asking, why is it interesting? Because this primary, this Republican primary in Ohio, it really tested the strength of Donald Trump's endorsement. I mean, the governor of Ohio, the GOP governor, I should say it's the Republican governor in Ohio, he endorsed Matt Dolan. And also former U.S. Senator Rob Portman also endorsed Matt Dolan. But guess what? There is more power in the endorsement of Donald Trump. And Trump endorsed Bernie Moreno, and Bernie Moreno won. So that is a win for Donald Trump. It's a win for Bernie Moreno. It's a win for the freedom-loving people in the great state of Ohio. So this is basically just, it's a pathway to a possible major victory in the general election, my friends. The voters have spoken. And of course, they voted for Bernie Moreno, and Bernie Moreno is the winner. So he is now going to be moving forward towards the general election, and he's going to be running. And tonight, my friends, I'm very, very hopeful that we will be able to, and by we, I mean conservatives, I mean Republicans, no matter where you are, okay, no matter where you are in the country, you don't have to be in Ohio. But what happened in Ohio tonight is a victory for all Americans, all freedom-loving Americans, conservatives who are looking forward to seeing Donald Trump win in the general election. If you're looking forward to seeing the Republicans regaining the majority in the US Senate, then tonight's victory, Bernie Moreno's victory, is a great victory. So my friends, Moreno also has the support of Republican Congressman Jim Jordan. I mean, we love Jim Jordan, right? If you're a conservative, I mean, you gotta love Jim Jordan. And so now the race is between incumbent Democrat Sherrod Brown, okay, Democrat Sherrod Brown, who is the U.S. Senator now from Ohio, one of the two U.S. senators, and of course GOP challenger Bernie Moreno. So it's very interesting what's happening. So Terry writes, it's a strong win. Moreno took 50%. Terry, I looked at some of the data, but I know the information continues to be updated. I didn't check the latest numbers, so thank you for sharing that. Teresa Ross is here, giving us a thumbs up. Teresa, thank you for joining. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope things are going well in Arizona, Teresa. Okay, let's see. All right, some other comments. So it's great to see Susan here. It's great to see eRocker78, my friend Terry Dunlap, and Teresa Ross. It's great to see all of you here. And if there's anyone else who has joined but has not written anything in the chat window, please, I welcome you to write something in the chat window, participate, give me a thumbs up, say hello, write your name, write what state you're from, share your view, share your thoughts. What do you think about the results from Ohio? Share that, okay? And please give this video a thumbs up, give this live stream a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. All you have to do is just click on thumbs up. Please support this channel, okay? So my friends, I am hopeful as we look at November 2024 in Ohio. It's going to be Bernie Moreno, the GOP candidate, versus incumbent Democrat Sherrod Brown, okay, for the U.S. Senate race. I'm hopeful that Bernie Moreno will win in November. I am very, very hopeful. And if Moreno can defeat Sherrod Brown, then we will have two GOP U.S. senators in Ohio. We already have J.D. Vance, Ohio, U.S. Senator from Ohio, J.D. Vance. And so if Sherrod Brown is defeated in November, if Bernie Moreno wins, then that's going to help us regain the majority. That's going to help the Republicans regain the majority in the U.S. Senate. I talk about a few states that are very important. Wisconsin. I talk about the race in Wisconsin. I talk about Ohio. I talk about West Virginia. I talk about Maryland. I talk about Arizona. We have to win Arizona. Let's support Kari Lake in Arizona. Okay. My friends, here are some other results. Trump, eRocker78 writes, is he a good guy? Bernie Moreno is a great guy, okay? Bernie Moreno is a great guy. Trump endorsed Bernie Moreno. So, if you trust Trump's endorsement, you're going to support Bernie Moreno. I think he's a great guy. And eRocker78, I'm going to share with you something that I've shared on this channel before. I'm not sure if you have heard, but in case you missed it, let me just quickly give you a little bit of background. So I have not personally met Bernie Moreno, but last year, that is 2023, in June of 2023, I was invited to be a guest on Fox and Friends on Fox News. This was June 2023, and I was invited to talk about immigration. So I appeared live on Fox and Friends on a beautiful, I think it was a Saturday morning, if I remember correctly. It was a nice morning. And the host was Rachel Duffy. So Rachel Duffy was the host, and there were two guests for that segment to talk about immigration. So it was Bernie Moreno and myself. Now, so far, I have not met Bernie Moreno in person, but I appeared alongside Bernie Moreno. So Bernie Moreno joined because he also has immigrant background, so he joined to talk about his family and share his views on immigration, and I joined from Wisconsin to talk about my views on immigration. And obviously, if you have been following my channel, then you know my views. I support border security, and I believe that we must secure the border and stop the influx of illegal immigrants. So anyway, if you want to check out that segment, you can just type my name and type Fox and Friends. I'm sure you'll be able to find that on the internet. My website also has a link to that interview, that segment. So you can go to tasifanam.net. By the way, I have been saying this. I'm doing some work on my website, so it may take a day or two for it to be. I'm trying to improve the look of my website, so it's a work in progress. So just wanted to say that. Anyway, so eRocker78, you asked about Bernie Moreno. He's a good guy, and obviously Trump endorsed him. So if you have faith in Trump's endorsement, you'll know that Bernie Moreno is the one you should support. Anyway, let me move forward here. There are some other results. Trump won the Illinois Republican primary. Yay, that's great news. Of course, he will win because the momentum is with Trump, and also because there's no one else running, right? Nikki Haley, well, sometimes you just think, oh, Nikki Haley's running. No, she's not, okay? You have to keep that in mind. Nikki Haley is no longer in the race for the White House in 2024, and because she ran for so long, sometimes I think about a GOP primary that's coming up, and I think, who are the voters going to vote for, Trump or Haley? And then I think, oh, Haley isn't there. Haley isn't there, so Haley has dropped out, so she is not running. So Trump is definitely the winner, and the sad part is that Nikki Haley, she dropped out, but she did not endorse Trump. I hope that she would have endorsed Trump. I think there's still time. Nikki Haley, if Nikki Haley is listening to this, I don't know if Nikki Haley watches my YouTube channel. What do you think? Does she watch my YouTube channel? I don't know. I hope she watches my YouTube channel because I discuss important stuff. And Nikki Haley has dropped out. So if she is listening to this, okay, if Nikki Haley is listening to this live stream, then my message to Nikki Haley would be the following. Nikki Haley, it's time to endorse Trump. I mean, Tim Scott has endorsed Trump from South Carolina. Lindsey Graham from South Carolina endorsed Trump. Both the U.S. senators from Nikki Haley's home state of South Carolina endorsed Trump. Governor Ron DeSantis endorsed Trump. Vivek Ramaswamy endorsed Trump. And there are so many others. So many other prominent Republicans, current elected official Republicans, other prominent Republicans, they all endorsed Trump. So if Nikki Haley is listening to this live stream, I don't know if she is, but this would be my message to Nikki Haley. It is time. Nikki Haley, it is time to endorse Trump. Anyway, it's her decision. I don't know if she's going to endorse Trump or not. Terry, you must be laughing that I started talking about Nikki Haley again, even after she dropped out. Terry, are you laughing, Terry? Anyway, let me just move forward. Of course, Trump also won the Republican primary in Ohio. And it's just so much fun to say Trump won, Trump won, Trump won. Okay, my friend Terry writes, yeah. So Terry is laughing, probably laughing at me for talking about Nikki Haley again. Hey, we need some humor. We need to be happy. We need some cheerful stuff. And so it just feels great to say that Nikki Haley finally dropped out. Okay, um, and I just hope she endorses Trump. Okay, I'll be so happy when Nikki Haley if Nikki Haley endorses Trump. I'm gonna do a special live stream. Okay, that's my plan. If Nikki Haley endorses Trump in 2024, I'm gonna try my best to do a special live stream to thank Nikki Haley. All right. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see. So let's move on to the next topic. But before that, let me just tell you once again, it's a great night. Bernie Moreno has won. He is the candidate that Trump endorsed. It's a great victory. So let's just enjoy that. Okay. And let's move on to the next topic, which also is an extremely important topic. And some of you may have heard this already. Let me go straight into it. Okay. So there is a major ruling by the US Supreme Court, okay? And that's breaking news from today. A major ruling in favor of law enforcement. A major decision by the US Supreme Court, a major decision that upholds the rule of law in the United States of America, my friends. The US Supreme Court ruled on Tuesday, which is today. It's still Tuesday. The US Supreme Court ruled to allow Texas, the great state of Texas, everyone's favorite. Okay, we all love Texas. No matter where you are in this country, if you are a freedom-loving American, you love Texas. I know that. I know you love Texas. We all love Texas. So the US Supreme Court on Tuesday, that is today, ruled to allow Texas to enforce a law to allow local law enforcement to arrest migrants who are suspected of crossing into the United States illegally. Okay? This, my friends, is a major win. I mean, this is a major victory. Just try to understand what just happened. Texas law enforcement can now arrest migrants who are suspected of crossing into the United States illegally. This is amazing. This is amazing. This ruling by the US Supreme Court, I am so grateful. This is amazing. This is about the rule of law. This is about protecting Americans. This is about fighting illegal immigration. This is about protecting American communities. This is about putting Americans first. This is about ensuring that the only pathway to come to the United States is the legal pathway. This is about securing the southern border and stopping the influx of illegal immigrants. So eRocker78 is asking, why is it Democrat policies never make any sense? I don't know, eRocker78. You know, if you are following common sense, if you believe in logic and reason and the Constitution and the rule of law, then the conservative policies make sense, right? Because the conservative policies are common sense policies. The conservative policies put Americans first. The conservative policies are all about supporting the rule of law in this country. So let me just say one thing. Texas has won, okay? This is a victory by Texas. Freedom-loving Americans have won today, my friends. The Supreme Court, I mean, what an amazing ruling. what an amazing ruling. Let me just see one thing here. Um, okay. Texas has won. Freedom-loving Americans have won today. It's an amazing ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court. It's a great decision, and reportedly, uh, the White House disagreed with this decision. Okay, the White House disagreed with this decision, and of course, the White House will disagree. Of course, I mean it makes sense because the Biden administration is the one that opened up the border. The Biden administration is the one that allowed the massive influx of millions and millions of illegal immigrants to happen. I mean, this illegal immigration, this massive influx of illegal immigrants, the crisis at the southern border, this is because of the Biden administration's policies. And so, of course, the Biden administration and the White House, they are going to disagree with this decision by the U.S. Supreme Court. Okay? But this decision is a victory. It's a victory for freedom-loving Americans. Now, reportedly, this legal process is not over yet. Okay? The Supreme Court ruling that came out today actually looked at the stay on the Texas law that was issued by the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. So the Fifth Circuit Court had put a stay on the Texas law. It had blocked the law from taking effect. So the Supreme Court removed that stay, meaning that the law can now be enforced. However, this also means that the case now goes back to the Fifth Circuit, and now there's a possibility that the Fifth Circuit may block the law again. I mean, I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but based on the reports that I've read, is there a possibility that the Fifth Circuit may block the law again? Reportedly, it is a possibility. So we have to wait and see. Now, I am not a lawyer. I don't have a JD, a degree in law. Okay, I have a degree in political science and I have a master's degree in public affairs. Okay, I've worked with lawyers very closely. I've taken law courses, but I am not a lawyer. Okay, I don't have a law degree, so I cannot comment on the legal details of this whole thing. I do understand. Here's what I understand. I do understand that the process is not over yet. Okay. However, the Supreme Court has removed the stay that was put on the Texas law. And so now it's a win. For now, it's a win for Texas. It's a win for freedom-loving Americans. But there may be other legal proceedings that may take place in this regard. Okay? So there may be future legal disputes pertaining to this law. So because I'm not a lawyer, I'm not going to comment on that. But for now, it's a win for Texas. It's a win for freedom-loving Americans. And we have a reason to celebrate. There's a reason to celebrate. The open border Democrats must be really sad today. Okay? All those far-left politicians who support the Biden administration's open border policy, they must be really sad today. And the freedom-loving Americans are happy. Okay, the freedom-loving Americans are happy because of the Supreme Court ruling. So we must all be happy. Let's celebrate the Supreme Court ruling. Celebrate Bernie Moreno's win in the beautiful state of Ohio. Celebrate Donald Trump's growing influence in the Republican Party. Let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate that because Donald Trump is making a comeback. He's coming back with a lot of momentum, with a lot of force, with a lot of support. And each day that goes by, the support for Donald Trump keeps growing. He's rising. He's becoming stronger every single day. And so let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate the new leadership of the Republican National Committee, my friends. Let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate the good things that are happening. Yes, there are crises, there are challenges, there are problems, there are roadblocks, there are barriers, but there is hope. And eRocker78 just wrote Trump 2024. Absolutely. Trump 2024. That's what freedom loving Americans are looking forward to. They are looking forward to Donald Trump 2024. So, my friends, as I was saying, there are crises, there are challenges, problems, roadblocks, barriers, but there is hope. And there are many small victories, and there are some large victories, some major victories, and there's growing momentum in the presidential race. Donald Trump is gaining strength every day. His support is growing. And there's growing unity among conservatives, among Republicans, and there is strength among Republicans, my friends. So we have to celebrate all that, and let's be hopeful, because hope is important. Hope is important. Let's not lose hope. We are winning. And between now and November 2024, it may seem like a long road. Yes, it is a long road. And in politics, anything can happen. It's hard to make predictions. We can make educated guesses, but still, it's just hard to make predictions. But one thing I know is that hard work does pay off. So we have to work hard. We have to work hard. And so one thing that we all can do is we can exercise our First Amendment right, and we can be vocal. So if you are out there, if you are listening to this, if you pay attention to politics and public policy, make your voice heard. JW is here. He writes, "Hi Tausif, did you see that Bernie Moreno won the primary?" JW, glad to see you're here. I spent many minutes talking about Bernie Moreno's victory today. It is so amazing. That was what I talked about when I started this live stream. Okay, so it's like absolutely. I am so happy, and so JW. If you just joined, we are getting close to the 28-minute mark here for this live stream. If you missed the first 20 minutes, please go back and listen to the first 20 minutes. I spent a lot of time talking about Bernie Moreno and his massive victory. So don't worry about joining late. You can always go back and watch the replay and listen to what I said at the start. I think I started at the 2-minute 30-second time mark. That's when I started the main discussion for today's live stream. Go and listen to it. I spent a lot of time, and eRocker78 was here. He's still here. And then my friend Terry Dunlap and Susan Epp, Teresa Ross, they are all here. They listened to what I had to say about Bernie Moreno. I am just so happy. I am so happy that a Trump-endorsed candidate, Bernie Moreno, has won. Okay? And so this gives me hope that Republicans will be able to regain the majority in the U.S. Senate. My friends, we have to be hopeful. So, as I was saying, there's strength among Republicans. And so, we have to be hopeful. And as I was saying, if you are a freedom-loving American, which I know you are, because you care about this country, you care about our constitutional rights, you care about freedom, make your voices heard. Write a letter to the editor about an issue that you care about. Write a letter to the editor about a local issue, a state issue, or a federal issue. Talk to your neighbors if you are comfortable with doing that. Talk to your friends. Have a discussion about why the 2024 presidential election is so important and why Donald Trump needs to win. I mean, really, our country is suffering. Inflation, supply chain problems, rising gas prices. Our our international allies are also suffering. There's global conflict, and so we need America's leadership in the world. And so if you want America to thrive and to prosper, we need a leader who can take our country back on the right track, and that's Donald Trump. We need Donald Trump. I mean, look at auto insurance premiums going up. Look at health insurance premiums going up. Everything's becoming more expensive. And so we need Donald Trump to have a strong economy. If you want a stable economy, if you want a strong economy, we need a president who can make it happen. Everything was so great when Donald Trump was in office. The economy was doing great. There was a lot of consumer confidence. The businesses were doing great. Not just big businesses, not just giant corporations. I am talking about the small businesses. I am talking about businesses in our cities, our states, small businesses. And small businesses are the heart of the economy. And small businesses were doing really great when Donald Trump was in office. But many small businesses are going out of business because of the Biden economy, because of Biden's inflation, which I call Bidenflation. Bidenflation. It's Biden's inflation. And so we need Donald Trump back in the Oval Office, back in the White House. And so as Americans, we have to be vocal. I am very vocal, and I appreciate each and every one of you for joining my live stream, for staying connected to my channel, for writing your comments, for sharing your thoughts, for asking questions. And yes, I have to admit that sometimes I'm not able to address all the comments, all the questions in the live chat window. But I appreciate the comments and questions that you write. And if I miss addressing a comment or a question, I may do that in a future video or in a future live stream. But I appreciate so very much the fact that you all join, that you all tune in, and that we can have this conversation about issues that matter. So I'm going to do my best to be as vocal as I can, to exercise my First Amendment right to free speech, to make my voice heard. And, there are so many issues that we have to address. So we need a bold, honest, strong, brave president in the White House. And we know who that would be, Donald Trump. And so as eRocker78 wrote, Trump 2024. Now the big question is, who is going to be Donald Trump's VP? We don't know the answer yet. Okay, there's still time. But I would love to know who that's going to be. I know my friend Terry would love to see Kristi Noem. Tony Swag writes, Vivek, Tony, thank you for joining the live stream. Is this your first time tuning in for my live stream? If it is, please let me know, and welcome to the live stream. It's wonderful to see more and more people tuning in, and this conversation reaching more people, this community getting bigger. So Tony, you are writing that Vivek, so I'm guessing you're saying that Vivek should be the VP pick for Trump. Well, Vivek has a lot of support. So I know Vivek, Donald Trump is probably looking at Vivek as one of the top candidates. Let me have a sip of tea here. My friend Terry writes, you would all love Noam. Absolutely. Whenever I talk about the best governors in America, if you ask me, name the 3 best governors in America, okay? Now, the answer is going to vary depending on who you're asking the question to. And we have a lot of great conservative governors, but let me tell you, my top three governors, Greg Abbott, absolutely number 1, okay? And then Kristi Noem and Ron DeSantis, they are all great governors. And so those are the three names I'm going to mention. Let's see. Terry writes, Fox was speculating on Trump's cabinet choices too. That is something we're going to have to discuss. Trump's cabinet choices. I mean, that's going to be very, very important. Who is Donald Trump going to pick for the different cabinet positions? Some of the cabinet positions are going to be, I mean, there are a few cabinet positions which I am personally very interested about. I want to find out who Trump is thinking about those certain positions. And so one would be the Attorney General. Okay. I mean, that's going to be an important one. And also the Secretary of State. Who's going to be the Secretary of State? Okay. I know that, I mean, we all know this. I mean, the United States is a global superpower. We play an extremely important role. I mean, we are the global superpower. We play an extremely important role in global politics. Okay? What we do, the decisions that are made in Washington, in the House of Representatives, in the Senate, in the White House, those decisions not only affect Americans here on American soil, but those decisions affect other parts of the world too. We have allies, we have adversaries. So the decisions made in Washington affect, have impacts all over the world. And so it's important. It's important to have a great Secretary of State. Who's going to be Secretary of State? Oh, Terry, what did you just write? Oh my God. Did you just write Nikki for Secretary of State? Terry, let me see if I'm reading it correctly. Okay, I've got to clear my eyes. Okay. Did Terry just write Nikki for Secretary of State? Terry, is that what you wrote? Oh my God, Terry, did you just write that? Are you referring to Nikki Haley, or are you talking about some other Nikki? Are you serious, Terry? You want to see Nikki Haley for Secretary of State? You're joking, right, Terry? Terry writes, I think she did good as UN. So you're referring to her position as the U.S. ambassador to the UN. And guess what she did afterwards? Okay. In the Trump administration, when Trump was in office, she was great. She was a great U.S. ambassador to the UN. Trump gave her that opportunity. And what does she do in return? She runs against Donald Trump in a presidential primary. So, Terry, I understand what you're saying. I don't know if she's going to be Terry, I think we can come up with a lot of great names, okay, for Secretary of State, okay? I think, I mean, do you want to see Mike Pompeo back in that role? How about Mike Pompeo? All right, Mike Pompeo back again as the Secretary of State. I mean, could we do that? I don't know. So, Terry, I mean, I have said this before that Nikki Haley is really an inspirational figure for many young Republicans, especially young Republican women. I've said that. And I've said that even as I opposed Nikki Haley's candidacy for president, even when I opposed her, I did acknowledge the fact many times, and my friend Terry knows because she has been tuning in for most of my live streams, that I've said that, Nikki Haley served as the governor of South Carolina. She was the U.S. ambassador to the UN, and she has a great political future. That's what I kept repeating. And then I said, but 2024 is not the year for Nikki Haley to run for president. So I acknowledged the fact that she has a great resume. She has a great, political public office history. And I also said that she can run for president again in the future. I said that she can, she can be in some kind of important public office in the future. But 2024 is not the year for Nikki Haley to run for president. So that's what I said. And so my friend Terry is saying Nikki for Secretary of State. I don't know what Trump would think about it. Okay? Do you see Trump choosing her for that role after what happened in the Republican primary? I don't know. Sheriff of YouTube is here. Sheriff of YouTube writes, "Hello, friends. Canadian MAGA here." Sheriff of YouTube, it's wonderful to see that you're back. Glad to see you're here. Thank you for joining this live stream. And my friend Terry is writing, "How is Trudeau?" Oh, Terry's now writing about Justin Trudeau. Okay, so how's Trudeau? I don't know. I haven't. Yeah, Sheriff of YouTube can answer that. Sheriff, do you want to answer that? How is Justin Trudeau? All right. So what was I saying? It's going to be very important to see who Trump picks for the different cabinet positions. So I'm interested to find out if and when, and I'm hoping Trump wins the presidency. So, and I'm going to sound very positive here. I'm not going to say if. I'm going to say after Trump wins again in November 2024. Who is he going to pick for Attorney General? Okay, who's it going to be? Okay, that's one. Secretary of State, Secretary of Homeland Security. That's going to be such an important position. Such an important position. Secretary of Homeland Security. That's going to be so important. And then some other positions. I mean, there are so many. Transportation. I think Secretary of Transportation is going to be very, very important. We have seen with Joe Biden in office that there were many issues with supply chain, okay, during the COVID outbreak. Remember those ships with lots of stuff that couldn't find I don't know, I don't remember the exact details, but I remember reading about ships that were waiting so that they could, unload the cargo and stuff. And, supply chain is so important and transportation is so important. And so we need we need a great Secretary of Transportation, okay? And so who is it going to be if Trump is elected president again? Terry writes, take all those possible VP picks and slot them into cabinet. Oh, yeah, you could do that. I mean, so Trump has a short list of candidates that he's considering for VP. After he makes his decision, who he is going to pick, what's going to happen to the other people on the short list? Some of them will be great cabinet picks, I think. Yeah, JW writes, yes, everything that was sitting at the ports, ridiculous. Yeah. So that's what I'm referring to. There were ships with cargo, and the cargo could not be unloaded for whatever reason. I'm forgetting the details, but you need a good Secretary of Transportation to make those things happen, so that whether you're talking about surface transportation or ships or planes, we need a strong transportation system. And so we need a good Secretary of Transportation. What are some Secretary of Education? That is important. Secretary of Education. Okay, who's gonna be leading the Department of Education? And that department, I mean, let me tell you, there are so many problems at the Department of Education. Somebody needs to come in and solve those problems. Okay, and so anyway, that's gonna be important. And what other cabinet positions? So if you guys have any recommendations, your thoughts, like pick your favorite cabinet. Just come up with a cabinet. I mean, imagine that you're advising Donald Trump, and if Donald Trump asks you, okay, who should I pick for Secretary of Homeland Security? Who should I pick for Secretary of Transportation? What will your answers be? You can come up with that list. Feel free to share that. Terry writes, no education department. Oh, no education department. So remember, was it 2008, 2007, 2008? There was that interesting Republican debate. Who was it that said that some departments should be abolished? Rick Perry, right? Did Terry, do you remember that? Was it Rick Perry? Was it Rick Perry that said, "Oh, if I'm president, these like was it 3 or 5 departments that are going to be gone?" And he forgot the names of the departments, and I think Ron Paul might have come in and answered. Anyway, so by the way, talking about Rick Perry, I think Rick Perry would be great for energy department, right? I mean, he did serve in the Trump administration, so I think Rick Perry could easily get. I mean, he should get a position again in the Trump administration if Trump wins in 2024. I think it's gonna. I like Rick Perry. Let me tell you, I like Rick Perry. I read what book is it? I'm looking at my bookshelf now. There is a book that Rick Perry wrote that I read. It was a while back. My room. I mean, you just see me here, but right here, I've got shelves with lots and lots of books. I have more books than I can fit in the shelves. So lots of books that I've read, lots of books that I have not read yet, but I have a collection of books, a lot of books, and I have read Rick Perry's book and I liked it. JW, I think Rick Perry is very sharp. I think he's very sharp. I forget when was the last time I saw him on TV for an interview, but he's sharp. I like Rick Perry. I really like Rick Perry. I think he's going to be great for, the energy department. Okay. Let's see. Health. Yeah, health. Who's going to be the Secretary of Health and Human Services? Excuse me. I'm going to have to take a sip of my tea. Amazing English breakfast tea. Although it's not breakfast time. It's way past dinner time, but I'm having English breakfast. Okay. My tea sat here for so long, it's now lukewarm. Okay. Let's see. Trump's last surgeon. Surgeon General, that's also going to be an important position, obviously. But yeah, I wonder who Trump may pick for Health and Human Services. Who will Trump? So remember, we had our very own from Wisconsin, Tommy Thompson. He was the Secretary of Health and Human Services when President Bush was in office. I absolutely love Tommy Thompson, former governor of Wisconsin, former Secretary of Health and Human Services in the Bush administration. Just wanted to mention that. So Tommy Thompson, he's such a great leader, such an amazing leader, Tommy Thompson. So as Wisconsinites, we are very proud that we had Tommy Thompson serving in a president's cabinet. Obviously, I wasn't in the U.S. then because I came to the U.S. in 2007 as an immigrant. So, when Tommy Thompson was serving in a president's cabinet, I was not in the U.S. I was a young kid in Bangladesh, but I know Tommy Thompson. I respect Tommy Thompson. And I just wanted to mention that here in Wisconsin, we're very proud that we had Wisconsin's former governor, Tommy Thompson, who served as a cabinet member in the Bush administration. So Tommy Thompson, it's always wonderful to see him. I still see Tommy Thompson at different events here in Wisconsin. It's always such a pleasure to see Tommy Thompson. Just such a wonderful leader. We are so proud of him. We are so proud of Tommy Thompson. Just wanted to mention that. JW writes, maybe Ben Carson. That's another wonderful, wonderful person. I have also read Ben Carson's book. I think it's called One Nation. I think it's called One Nation. I may be wrong, but I've read Ben Carson's book. I've read Rick Perry's book. I've read lots of books. So yes, Ben Carson. I think Ben Carson would be great in a future Trump administration. So let's see. He did serve in the Trump administration. Was he the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, if I'm not mistaken? Terry, can you fact check me? Was Ben Carson the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development? I think so, right? Yeah, that's what I think. Anyway, Ben Carson. Ben Carson is great. Yeah, Terry writes yes. So yeah, Ben Carson, such a brilliant, brilliant person. You know, such a brilliant person, brilliant doctor. So he would be great. So Terry, do you think Ben Carson should have been in some other administration, some other department? Let me know your thoughts, Terry. Susan writes, I met Dr. Carson and his wife. They are very fine people. I have not met Dr. Carson, but I'm sure that Susan, what you're saying, I will totally agree with that. They are wonderful people. Terry writes, health, not housing. Yeah, that's a great suggestion, Terry. I think Ben Carson would be great in the health department. I think that would be great. Or Surgeon General. Surgeon General would be great. Yeah, as JW is writing. Susan writes, read Gifted Hands by Dr. Carson. Susan, that's one book I have not read. I have read, I believe, if I'm getting the name right, it's One Nation. I have read a book by Dr. Carson, but it's not Gifted Hands. So I'm going to read that. Thank you for that great suggestion. I'm still looking at my bookshelf. I'm trying to find that book, but anyway, I'm gonna continue. So yeah, if you have book suggestions, please let me know. By the way, for those of you who may not know this, I actually am a health policy analyst. So that's my training, that's my education. I have an undergraduate degree in political science, but in graduate school, I studied public affairs, which is public policy, but I focused on healthcare policy. So that's my academic expertise. That's my professional expertise. I'm a healthcare policy analyst by training. I studied healthcare policy analysis. And once you are a healthcare policy analyst, you are forever a healthcare policy analyst. So, because once you start studying the healthcare sector, once you start studying the healthcare system, you just can't stop. Okay. So I have books right here. Like I can reach for books here that are all about healthcare. Yeah. Terry writes, toss it for health and human services. Terry, thank you for that vote of confidence. What an amazing suggestion, Terry. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Terry. It's so encouraging. So encouraging. Thank you for that. You are a real friend. You are a real well-wisher, Terry. Thank you so very much for writing that. Toss it for health and human service. I am so happy. I am delighted. All right. JW writes, toss it for Surgeon General. JW, I am not a clinician. I don't have medical expertise, okay? I did not go to medical school. I cannot practice medicine. I am not a clinician. So I cannot be a Surgeon General. Okay, I'm a policy guy. I studied healthcare policy. I still do research on healthcare policy. Even in my past, during my leisure time, if I have to read a book, I'll read a book that has got something to do with healthcare policy. So anyway, so I don't think I can serve as Surgeon General. But Terry, what an amazing suggestion. Thank you so very much. You know, I just appreciate that I have such great well-wishers. I mean, that's really a blessing, okay? That it's really a blessing. And let me tell you, that's what keeps me going. That's what gives me energy every single day, that I have well-wishers. I have friends. I may not see them every day, but I know they are there. My friend Terry from South Dakota, I know she's a true well-wisher. And I know many of you who have come to know me through my channel, I know you wish me well. I believe that. And that is a blessing in my life that gives me hope, that gives me a lot of encouragement, that gives me enthusiasm, that gives me the energy to continue doing what I do. So thank you for that. Thank you, Terry. And thank you, everyone else, for all your wonderful words, for all your well wishers, and for supporting this channel, for being here, for giving me your valuable time. You know, the most important thing that you can give someone is your time. If you are spending 15 minutes, half hour, 1 hour with me every day, almost every day, if you are tuning in and you're watching my live stream, even if it's for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, that's 10 minutes of your time. That's 15 minutes of your time. That's 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour, or an hour out of your valuable time that you are giving me every single day. You're spending that time with me. And let me tell you, I am very, very grateful for that. I feel that I'm very fortunate to have such wonderful people who are spending time with me, who are sharing their thoughts with me, who are listening to what I have to say. And really, I mean, I am from the bottom of my heart, I am very grateful. I'm very grateful that I have all of you in my life sharing your valuable time with me, for tuning in to watch my live streams, for watching my videos, and for sharing with me your thoughts, and for listening to what I have to say. So, you know, I don't know what else I can say. Let me just tell you, I am very, very grateful. So thank you, each and every one of you, each and every one of you. Um, Susan writes, "I have dinner while you have your live show." Thank you, Susan. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope that you get to enjoy your dinner. Okay, right? Terry writes, "Fix the healthcare system." You know, Terry, um, the healthcare system needs to be fixed. It does need to be fixed, and what we need is we need to put the patients, the consumers, in charge of the system. That's what we need. Healthcare is something that's very personal, right? Healthcare is not just about finding a cure for your illness. Healthcare is about staying healthy. You know, if you have a symptom that's bothering you, then you need to go get treated for that symptom. And we should have a healthcare system that ensures access to affordable care, access to affordable and high quality care, access, cost, and quality, right? So we have to have a healthcare system where people can access quality healthcare services at a cost that they can afford. But it's not just about going and seeing the doctor, your primary care doctor or a specialist when you have a problem. It's about having a system that lets you stay healthy. If I'm healthy, if I don't have symptoms, okay, and I'm in perfect health, I'm feeling great, can we have a healthcare system that helps me stay healthy, that helps me stay out of trouble, that helps me stay away from healthcare problems, that gives me the tools that I need to ensure good health, and to ensure that I'm doing the things that I need to do to make sure that my cholesterol level stays okay, that I don't have heart problems, that I'm not becoming I'm having a good body mass index, that I'm having that I'm getting enough exercises, that I'm getting access to expert advice that will help me maintain my diet and be in great shape and in great health. So it's about staying healthy, and then also accessing care when you have symptoms, when you have an illness, when you have a disease that you need help to address. So, I hope that I can play a part in fixing the American healthcare system, okay? It's going to need more than one person, and we have to collectively be willing to take the steps, to make the decisions, to elect the right leaders, and to hold the leaders accountable, because we need transparency, we need accountability, we need honest leaders in government in order to fix the American healthcare system. And we need honest doctors, hardworking doctors, experts. And we also need patients, patients who are willing to make their voices heard, to talk to their doctors about what the challenges in the healthcare system is, to talk to the policymakers about what challenges they see in the healthcare system. So it's got to be a collective effort. You need the patients involved, you need the doctors and the nurses to be involved, you need the policymakers to be involved, you need the legal professionals to be involved. I mean, it requires collective effort. And so, you know, uh, all the problems cannot be fixed overnight. There's no perfect law. There's no perfect legislation. There's no legislation that you're going to draft and, you know, the House approves it, the Senate approves it, the president signs it, and boom, our healthcare system is now excellent. There are no more problems. It doesn't work like that. It's going to take time. There will have to be incremental steps that we need to take to fix the problems. Okay, there's no magic solution, and that's why we need the patients to be involved. We need the advocates to be involved. We need the lawyers to be involved, the doctors to be involved, the folks in the medical insurance industry to be involved. We need caregivers to be involved. We need the policymakers to be involved. We need collective effort. So I hope that I can play a part. Okay, I hope that with my knowledge, my expertise, my willingness to improve the American healthcare system, I am hoping that I can play a part to help improve the healthcare system in America. So, my friends, all of your words give me encouragement, give me hope, and give me the enthusiasm that I need to go forward and do what I can as Tausif Anam, as a healthcare policy analyst, to help improve America's healthcare system. Let me check some of the comments here. JW writes, better outcomes, more healthcare versus sick care. It's about healthcare. It's not just about treating when somebody is sick. As I said, it's about making sure that you stay healthy. So yeah, we need better health outcomes. So absolutely. Susan writes, I had my children without ever seeing a doctor. I had a midwife. Okay. You know, it's about, so healthcare isn't the same thing for everyone. So some people like going to the doctor for monthly checkups or quarterly checkups, or, you know, twice a year, and then they go like seeing their doctor maybe as and when needed. It's really about what you are comfortable with. It's about what your, and you know, it's really healthcare. Each person's expectation about the healthcare system varies. It depends on the person. So some people go to doctors a lot, and some don't, and some go only as needed. So it's really a personal thing. So let's see. Um, uh, I see some great comments here. I may not be able to address all the comments. I know we are past 1 hour and 3 minutes. So my friends, I appreciate all of you for joining this live stream. And once again, thank you so very much. I appreciate the time that you spend with me. So eRocker78, thank you for joining. My friend Terry Dunlap from the great state of South Dakota. Always, always, Terry, thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. Susan, thank you so very much for joining. And I see JW, thank you for joining. Truly appreciate you being here. Tony Swag, who wrote a comment here about Vivek. Thank you for tuning in, for joining. And then Sheriff of YouTube joined from Canada. Sheriff of YouTube, thank you so very much for being here, for joining. So did I miss anyone? I hope not. My friends, I'm going to end this live stream here. We are past 1 hour and 4 minutes. Thank you so much for spending time with me, for your great comments, for your great questions. If I missed addressing any comment or question, I'm sorry. I'm gonna do it next time. Thank you all for being here. Once again, before I end this, let's celebrate Bernie Moreno's victory in Ohio. Let's celebrate the Supreme Court decision regarding the law in Texas. Let's celebrate. There are problems, there are roadblocks and challenges, but we should have hope, and we should look forward to victory. My friends, thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful night, and I will be back again with more videos, more live stream. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you for being here. Have a good night.